Hello. I hope you've been enjoying this week's look at Talking Blues. As promised, this episode features my two all-time favorite Talking Blues recordings. Together, they speak to what are undoubtedly the two most important descriptive labels which I am proud to attribute to myself: wheelchair user and chocoholic. Let's start with the most important thing: chocolate. Here is Paul Stuckey of Peter, Paul and Mary performing Talkin' Candy Bar Blues.
I bought a candy bar the other day, only ate halves, gonna throw the rest away. When I saw this kid playing in the street, I said, "Hey kid, you want something to eat?" He said, "What?" I said, "Candy, son." He said, "Help!" And then he started to run, and I stood there, watching him go. Half a bar of chocolate running down my fingers. Well, the kid comes back in a minute or two, but his mom's with him and the neighbors too, and they got the kid scared. It's plain to see. They say, "Which one done it?" He points at me. He says, "Him." They say, "What do you mean?" He says, "You." And then he starts to scream, and I'm standing. Everybody's looking. Everybody's staring at me. Howdy doody. Y'all waiting for the bus? A little late, isn't it? Anybody got a watch? We get to see how late it is. I got a better idea. Let's find somebody with a watch and stare at him. Well, some start picking up baseball bats and the others are pulling the pins from their hats. I think this thing's gone a little too far. Hell, I only offered him a candy bar. I say, "Wait." Say, "What are you doing?" They say, "Pre-birth, the kid's life is ruined." Oh, well, then you better check what he's chewing, because I have the feeling he's in the middle of a bubblegum orgy. Well, they're coming at me and I'm backing away, and then I hear this policeman say, "Are you positive he's the right man?" I quick flip the candy bar out of my hand. He says, "Show me." I said, "Show you what?" He says, "The candy bar, you degenerate." And he grabs me. He grabs both my hands. Pretty easy to see which hand's got the chocolate. Well, I've had some troubled times before, but none like the trip from the candy store. Oh, sympathize with the kid, all right. Somebody is nice to you, probably ain't right. I'll grow up. I'll learn the way. I'll learn so that my later days will be prosperous, chocolate covered, if I don't bite off more than I can hide.
For me, one of the fun things about Talking Blues is what I believe is called temporarily unresolved chord tension. In Talkin' Candy Bar Blues, you probably detected it here.
And I'm standing, everybody's looking, everybody's staring at me. Howdy doody. Y'all waiting for the bus? A little late, isn't it? Anybody got a watch? We get to see how late it is. I got a better idea. Let's find somebody with a watch and stare at him.
And now for my all-time favorite Talking Blues, Talking Wheelchair Blues by Fred Small. See if you can spot this song's temporarily unresolved chord tension.
I went for a jog in the city air. I met a woman in a wheelchair, said, "I'm sorry to see you're handicapped." She says, "What makes you think a thing like that?" And she looks at me real steady, and she says, "You want a drag?" So she starts to roll and I start to run, and she beat the pants off my aching buns. You know, going uphill I'd hit my stride, but coming down she'd sail on by. When I finally caught up with her, she says, "Not bad for somebody able-bodied. You know, with adequate care and supervision, you could be taught simple tasks. So how about something to eat? I said that'd suit me fine, we're near a favorite place of mine. So we moseyed on over there, but the only way in was up a flight of stairs. Gee, I never noticed that, says I. No problem, the maitre d' replies. There's a service elevator around the back. So we made it upstairs on the elevator with the garbage, flies, and last week's potatoes. I set it like a table for my friend and me. He says I'll try to find one out of the way. And he whispers, is she gonna be sick? I mean, pee on the floor or throw some kind of fit? I said no. I don't think so. I think she once had polio. But that was 20 years ago. You see, the fact of the matter is, if the truth be told, she can't walk. So he points to a table, she wheels her chair. Some people look down and others stare, and a mother grabs her little girl, says, "Keep away, honey, that woman's ill." We felt right welcome. Then a fella walks up and starts to babble about the devil, and the Holy Bible says, "Woman, they'll march with flesh is sin. Pray to Jesus, you'll walk again." Then the waiter says, "What can I get for you?" I said, "I'll have your best imported brew." And he says, "What about her?" I said, "Who?" He says, "Her." "Oh, you mean my friend here?" He says, "Yeah." I say, "What about her?" "Well, what does she want?" "Why don't you ask her?" Then he apologizes. Says he never waited on a cripple before. So she talks to the manager when we're through. She says there's some things you could do to make it easier for folks in wheelchairs. He says, "Oh, it's not necessary. Handicap never come here anyway." Well, I said goodnight to my newfound friend. I said I'm beginning to understand a little bit of how it feels to roll through life on a set of wheels. She says, "Don't feel sorry, don't feel sad. I take the good along with the bad. I was arrested once at a protest demo, and the police had to let me go." See, we were protesting the fact that public buildings weren't wheelchair accessible. Turned out the jail was the same way. Anyway, I look at it this way. In 50 years, you'll be in worse shape than I am now. See, we're all the same, this human race. Some of us are called disabled. And the rest, well, the rest of you are just temporarily able-bodied.
Actually, Talking Wheelchair Blues displays temporarily unresolved chord tension on a number of occasions. To highlight just a few, there's...
And she looks at me real steady, and she says, "You want a drag?"
And there's...
I said no. I don't think so. I think she once had polio. But that was 20 years ago. You see, the fact of the matter is, if the truth be told, she can't walk.
And there's...
See, we were protesting the fact that public buildings weren't wheelchair accessible. Turned out the jail was the same way.
And then there's...
Some of us are called disabled. And the rest, well, the rest of you are just temporarily able-bodied.
Please join me next week when, in honor of Memorial Day, we'll be sharing songs of war and peace. See you then.